Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
Alright, so you might hear my dishwasher running. I'm recording this one in my living room, not in my basement office. But, I'm going to be going a little bit down memory lane for a little bit, and I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's going to basically have a point to it. So, the very first ritual thing that I did, and if you want a little bit more background context and stuff, check out my experiences with Magick Part 1 and Part 2. But the very first ritual that I did when I was dating this girl in college, and I was kind of being guided by her with stuff because she wouldn't let me read any of the books that she had. She said that she had done some stuff, so I was like, all right, I'm really interested in this. Let's go with it. And she had this idea, the Gardnerian Wicca stuff. She was leaning more towards, just the working with the goddess, which I thought was very interesting because, me growing up with going to Catholic school and stuff, the conception of God as male and blah, blah, blah. Oh, they, in other religions and whatnot, in Wicca with magic and whatnot, they work with a female deity. That sounds really interesting because it's the converse of everything that I'm used to. So we actually did this dedication to the goddess, and my memory is super duper duper fuzzy, mainly because of a self-imposed binding that I did on myself in 2008, trying to eliminate and erase a lot of negative experiences and stuff from the years of 2005-ish to 2008. So I have what I call a black hole in my mind, but on occasion some things creep out, and that's actually something I've been working on quite a bit, of recovering those kinds of things and reversing that binding. Any ideas on that, please let me know. But we were it was the summer of 2007, and we were in a dorm. I can't remember the name of the particular dorm, whatnot. All those details are kind of important to me, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. And we had just a little tea light candle because you couldn't light, too many, any candles or whatever, but we decided to break the rules. And we followed the, standard Gardnerian stuff, where we lit the little tea light candle and we sat on the floor and we read out a prayer and kind of an intention of having the goddess bless us when it came to working with magic. And one of the things that I can remember is I was sitting with my back to the door on the floor. She was sitting with her back to the window on the floor across from me, and we had the candle in the middle. And I remember when the lights were off, the only light source was the candle in the middle. And of course, we're talking one of those little tea lights. You can get a pack of 24 of them at the dollar store. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. And when we lit the candle and we did the prayer, and then we sat there and closed our eyes and just kind of let the energy come in, I guess you could say. I remember that there was a light source above, coming from above. And when I looked upwards, that light, with my eyes closed, that light source got really, really, really immense. And I think that was, I guess you could call it the goddess kind of with doing a blessing or opening up to us, or showing some kind of, letting her presence be known, that kind of thing. And the interesting thing is now it's many years later. I mean, we're talking from 2007 to 2024. And I think that this kind of thing is coming full circle, for lack of a better term, because now after that ritual, that relationship burned itself out, and I ended up picking up the magic books that she had and amassing many, many more. Once again, you can check my experiences with magic videos, part 1 and part 2, where I just started reading and practicing and doing stuff all the time. And there was a friend of mine that was in a paranormal research group. That's kind of how I knew him. He was in the paranormal research group that I was vice president of, and he was friends with the president of the paranormal research group, he had the Simon Necronomicon. I thought it was interesting. I didn't pick it up until 2011, maybe 2010. And then I actually didn't start reading it until 2012. Well, if you look at the context of the Simon Necronomicon, of course, it's very, at first glance, very based on, you have the elder gods and the ancient ones, and there's the 50 names of Marduk in there, and it calls on Marduk, it calls on Enki in a lot of the text, but the main part of the book itself, the initiatory process that it puts you through is what? It's the gate walking, which mirrors the descent of Inanna, right? So the main part of that book is working with Inanna. And if you dig enough into Inanna, you understand that in the Sumerian civilization, she was the most venerated goddess, because in their main city, they had two temples. The Inanna temple was for Inanna, and then Anu had a temple. I can't remember the name of it. So she was the divine feminine in that society. And given my experiences and working with, and all of my expertise and yada yada, working with the Simon Necronomicon, that first ritual that I did of a blessing from the goddess, which, that's like the supreme feminine divinity, whatnot. In Wicca, when you call on the god and goddess, you're calling on the divine masculine, the divine feminine, that kind of stuff. You can give them a name, you can, whatnot, or you can just categorize it with divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever. But it's interesting that now that I'm thinking about all this stuff, coming over to the Simon Necronomicon and heavily focusing on that and doing the gate walking twice. I did it fully twice, and then I did the first three again. So I opened the Ishtar/Inanna gate, and I left it open. I didn't go past that, which is one point that you can stop at. This entire thing, my entire journey, has been from start until now ultimately working with Inanna. Now, one of the biggest things that, after realizing this and whatnot, I am currently working on, I have about 5, 6, maybe 7,000 words into a book that focuses purely on Inanna. And I'm doing a lot of stuff with the book. I'm not going to be saying anything more than that, but I am planning on getting this book out probably in the next 2 or 3 months or so. Depends on how much I can work on it, because I just got back from a really big trip and with the eclipse and stuff. And by the way, if you guys saw the eclipse, definitely let me know, and let me know what your experiences were with it. But I'm really hoping to get that book out, because now that I have this focus on working with Inanna and it's kind of come full picture, it's just it's been staring me in the face this entire time, and it's just huge. It's one of those big realizations that you have, and it's just been there the whole time. It's like you're looking for something that you lost, and it's sitting in plain sight on your coffee table, and you're like, whoa, it's been there the whole time? What? So I didn't want to go too far into detail with this kind of stuff, but it's just really interesting to recount the first ritual that I did, and then looking at the big picture of my, I guess you could say, quote, magical career. So, yeah. Anyways, about the book, I am definitely going to get that thing out sometime this year, and I know that I have some sections that I need to fill, and then I'm going to go into proofreading and editing and all that stuff. I'm not entirely sure how long that is going to take me, but it is going to be very Inanna-centric. Let me know if you're interested in that. Anyways, I'm just going to cut this one off for now, but let me know what you think about this video and anything that I talked about. Questions, comments, complaints, concerns, issues, drop them in the comments, and you can always reach out to me for any video suggestions, Magic for Hire, check out my classes, all of that good stuff. Until next time, good hunting.